Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM. Welcome back to Aghalee Farm. I do hope you're doing very well and having a wonderful day. So here we are, we're still, it's just turned lunchtime, 12:30 in the afternoon, first day of April, so we're pretty much cracking on from where we left off in the last episode. But as usual, as I tend to do, been having a bit of a ponder, a bit of a think, primarily as a result of me purchasing that cultivator in the last episode. Obviously I bought it during the whole recording of the last episode, and as soon as I got it out of the dealership onto the lanes, I thought, you know what, this isn't right, is it? It's difficult to gauge the size of the thing when you're looking at it in the in-game garage menu before you purchase it. But like I say, as soon as I got it onto the roads, I was like, oh, this is just a stupid idea. It was a bit daft. It's a good mod, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it in that respect, but it's not right for this place, is it? Let's be honest. But I soldiered on with it for the purposes of getting that last episode recorded, getting the job done. Obviously we cultivated one of the fields over there, joined them both together using the allow create fields function that I've got installed on this game. But obviously pondering around, thinking, right, well, I need to replace this with another cultivator. Obviously my options are quite limited, because I do, obviously at the minute we've got nothing but small machinery, small tractors on here, so power is a limitation, and also the weight of the machinery that we can hang off the back of these things is also a limitation as well. I do actually have the more power mod installed now, so what that does is it just, behind the scenes, it gives all of the machinery a little bit more power. But I'm not going to try and really I'm not going to do anything stupid with that and put something that's completely ridiculous hanging off the back of a tractor. That's not how I'd like to do things. But so what that's done is obviously it's got me to thinking. I started looking into the options for replacing the cultivator. But there weren't many options available to me without going back down multiple sizes again and going back to the small stuff that these small machineries can handle. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and get a bigger tractor. But obviously, you know, I can't really afford that at the minute. The bank account, if we have a look there, we're at £218,000. So I could buy something, but I don't want to just empty the bank account for the sake of getting another tractor. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a bit of a clear out. And we're going to replace, so essentially what I'm going to do, we're going to sell the Massey and its front weight. We're going to sell this Ford. I know I've not had it long, I've only had it a couple of episodes, haven't I? But as great as it looks and as great as it is, again, power is a limitation. It's only low 100 and somethings, I think 120, 130 horsepower or something. But it's the mud mask thing that does my head in with this tractor. After using it only a few times already, it gets dirty ridiculously quickly, and it looks ridiculous, quite frankly. It looks like it's been soaked in a swamp after about 20 minutes work. And I have to keep manually reducing the percentage of dirt that's on it in the easy dev menu, and I don't like the idea of doing that. It's a bit of a pain in the neck, to be honest. So we're going to sell that, we're going to sell the weight, we're going to sell the Ford, we're going to sell this cultivator. I'm keeping the Valtra, because this is the most, of all the tractors we have, this is the most powerful at 145, and it is quite a capable little thing. And it's a nice tractor as well, I do really like it, so we're keeping this. I'm going to sell the New Holland, we're going to sell this front weight, and we're going to sell the HX20 topper mower here. And what I'm going to replace it with is one tractor, because I think it's better to have, in my mind anyway, maybe on this series anyway, I'd rather have two relatively capable tractors than four tractors that I can struggle to do everything with, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to buy myself a JCB Fast Track, just one of the base game ones, medium-sized tractor. I've actually hardly ever used them in my entire time of playing Farming Sim 22. I think I used one over on Calmston Farm on a contract ages ago, long before I started making videos on YouTube. But yeah, a JCB suits this area, quite frankly. I live in Cheshire in the UK, and I see JCBs all over the place. I know this is in Ireland, but you know, I'm sure JCBs are pretty common over here as well. So the idea is we're going to sell, like I said, sell all this stuff. We're going to buy the JCB Fast Track, and I'm going to buy the Samaz front and rear mower setup, which is, I think, in total is about 84 grand, I think, in total. The JCB is 250, just shy of 250 grand. The mowers are, like I say, about 84 grand. And we're also going to buy a cultivator for 25 grand, which is one of the Horsch the Horse Finer, I think it's called. It's the same one that I have over on Court Farms. It's a 6 metre wide implement, and the JCB Fast Track should be able to manage that and the mower setup just fine. And this Voltra will manage everything else that we have on the farm, all the bits and bobs we have in here. We've got this, the JCB can manage this as well if need be, or the Voltra, and the Voltra can obviously run all of this stuff as well. So that's the idea. I think I'd much prefer to do that, just have a bit of a clear out and have, like I said before, have 2 reasonably capable machines instead of a handful of stuff that I'm having to juggle around with and go, oh, it's not powerful enough, and being limited to what I can get. So on top of that, we have 2 of our silage bunkers that are completely fermented, ready to go, and we need to get these into our BGAs to get earning for us and get that income ramped back up again. Across the 2, collectively, we have 582,872 litres of silage, so well north of 500,000, so that's all good. Obviously, as a result of the last episode, we have got a good stack of silage bales fermenting away in the bale shed over here. I'll just take a quick sprint round. As you can see there, this one is ready to go as well. This is the smaller one of the 2, is it? No, this is the larger one, 390,000. We've got 192,000 over in that one over there. So today, in this episode, we're going to get all of that loaded up into our BGA. These won't be too far fermented, obviously, because they were only recently done. But there we go, 2% fermented. So yeah, we've still got a bit of time ahead of us to go with that. I may well make up one feed mixer of food as well, just from the loose silage that we have in the bunkers, just to see us by for the next little while. And I may well keep a shovel load or 2 in one of the bunkers here as well, just to fall back on while we wait for those bales to ferment. So yeah, that's the plan. So with that in mind, I'm going to crack on. I need to get essentially all of this over to the shop. The JCB is going to be the only machine that's going to be capable of bringing back the new cultivator and the mower setup because of its size and because of its weight. So with that in mind, yeah, just get everything sent back over there. Make some money, spend some money. So I shall see you all in a few moments' time over at the shop. Right, I have managed to squeeze all the bits of equipment, tractors and implements into the cell trigger here by the workshop. Now, I did do a little bit of calculation before, just in the in-game menu, and the couple of things I hadn't actually included in this total were the front weights, so I haven't priced them in. But according to the base game menu before we go to the shop, everything here was going to come to around 204 grand to sell. So we're obviously going to get a little bit more money based on what we get from the shop, plus the weights that I hadn't factored in. So I've repaired everything very quickly. So quite simply, we're going to sell that, sell, and that, and that, and that, and that. Boom. Right. £450,000 are now sat in the bank account, which is wonderful. So I think it's about time we get spending. Now I'm going to spend a couple of seconds here just making sure I get the right bits that I wanted, the JCB, the cultivator and the mowers. So very quickly, I'll jump in and out and I shall see you in a few seconds. Right, there we go, all sorted. Money spent, as you can see now, back down to 91.5, just over 91.5 grand, so back down to earth with a bump, but we now have ourselves our nice new bits of equipment. I've been quite excited to use this one, to be honest. The JCB, like I said, not really had much experience with one of these ones. I do have the older JCB over on the Vintage Oaks, the old fast track. But like I said, I've not got a huge amount of seat time in one of these ones, one of these modern ones. So let's hook this thing up. There we go. That's the back bit anyway. Whoa, no. Is that lifted up? Yeah, that's lifted up. So at least now we have increased massively our mowing capacity. Let's get that one picked up. There we go. Oh, that does want lifting up, doesn't it? Yeah, that's better. Right. So there we go. Obviously, it's got its four-wheel steer, which is very helpful. And it's more than capable. Now, technically, collectively, these two pieces of machinery require more power than what the JCB has. The front mower requires 110 horsepower. The rear mower requires 220, I think it is. So, and the JCB itself is only 235, I think. But, as I said, with the subtle addition of the more power mod, that will allow me to use these things and not get limited by the power. So it's going to be all right, essentially. So, please don't hit the tree. There we go. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think I much prefer the idea, like I said before, of just having 1 or 2 tractors that are capable of doing everything, as opposed to having a whole handful of tractors that are quite limited to what I can use with them and do with them. So, right, so we'll drop this lot off at the farm. We do have some mowing to get done today. We have this field here, the big custom field, one of the big custom fields, what I call the north field. This is all ready to go. And this one, this big one here on our left with the pylon in the middle, this is also ready to go as well. So we're going to get all that done, but first we need to empty the bunkers to make way for all this lot. So we'll get all this new equipment back on the farm, and then we're going to be jumping in the Merlot and getting everything that we can loaded into our biogas plants. So I'll faff around here for a few moments, and I shall see you as soon as possible. Right, all back at the yard now, sorted. Now, as it turns out, I actually think this little cultivator might actually work just fine on this Valtra. Now, as some of you may be aware, I've got this Horschfeiner over on the Deutschland series, and I do also have it over on Court Farms. But it has several configuration options in the garage menu. When you buy it, you can kit it out and make it much bigger. And all of those options do come with an extra cost. So I have just spec'd this to be the simplest and cheapest option it can. It was 25 grand. It's a 6 meter width. It does fold up. It does require 220 horsepower, but physically, looking at it, it looks right on the back of this tractor. Now, because of the more power mod that I mentioned before, this tractor has 145 in the base game. The more power mod subtly gives it a little bit more, so it's actually just enough to be able to cope with dragging this cultivator behind it. So hopefully, I mean, obviously if I have to, that's why I bought this, we can run this with it. But if this is something that the little Valtra can use, and I'm sure you'll agree, it looks right on the back. It doesn't look like it's too big. It's not pulling a wheelie or anything. The weight is okay. It's only a couple of tons in weight. So yeah, it's all good. So I'm quite happy with that. I think I do genuinely think that was a sensible thing for me to do. Just have a bit of a clear out, get rid of a load of stuff that's rid of a load of chaff, as it were, old stuff, machines that we don't need, tractors, especially that cultivator. I'm glad I've got rid of that. That was a stupid decision on my part, wasn't it? Let's be honest. So anyway, sorted. So what have we got in here? Actually, let's have a quick look. 4,174 litres. Before we crack on with any grass work, we need to empty and create a bit of space in the bunkers to make way for the new stuff. So we are going to jump into our Merlot. I think the buckets, yes, the bucket is attached. That's all good. There we go. So we're going to spend a little bit of time now getting everything shifted from one bunker, or from both bunkers, into both of the biogas plants. And I think for the purposes of this, I'm going to compress the whole thing into a bit of a time-lapse cinematic for you all, because it is going to take a few minutes, let's be honest. But first, let's just scoop this lot up. We should be able to gather this into one bucket, I hope. There's always a little bit there that it leaves behind, which is always a bit frustrating. Let's see if I can catch that scraping along the floor. Almost. Shouldn't be this difficult, should it? Goodness me, really? Oh, there we go. I was miles off, wasn't I? Right, sorted. So, I'll get this little load popped into the BGA, and then we shall concentrate on the bunkers and get that silage in, because obviously now that we've spent a load of money, we could certainly do with ramping up that bank account, can't we? So let's get that into here. Lovely stuff. Right, let's crack on. Right, job done. All the, well, almost all the silage has been shifted over into both BGAs. Now, obviously, the base farm BGA only takes a certain amount, so that didn't take long to fill up. But our modded one here takes a good load. But as you can see, now I have ran into this issue a couple of times in the past on various saves. Sometimes you do get like a solidified lump at the back of each of the bunkers that you just can't get out. So in this one we have 7,158 litres stuck in here, and in the other one we have 11,539. So in total we've got 18,697 litres of silage that we can't, well, technically I can't do anything about, but I can. There's an easy way around it, and quite simply what you can do is you can jump into the construction menu. I'm sure you all know this, but yeah, essentially just jump into the construction menu. You can paint it out. I hope I've got the right texture here. Oh, we have. There we go. So, there we go. We can get rid of that. And we can also do the same over here. Let me get the right texture for that one, I think, as well. Just paint it out nice and neat there. There we go. Let me just check I've not put... Yeah, I have, haven't I? Silly me. Well, let's just paint that back in. Plants, grass. Lovely stuff. Right, there we go. And I can get it back by just quite simply jumping into the Easy Dev menu here. And adding... Where are we? What do I want? Silage. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. Silage. Set. 18697. Thank you. Yep, there we go. So, we have not lost out. There's a way of doing everything in there on this game. So we'll just go and stick this last load in here, and then that's us done with the whole silage shebang for now. But then we need to get right back onto it and start filling up those bunkers again. Now I'm going to start with this bunker down here, get this one filled up, just because it's a bit easier to access, I think, than being in the yard when it comes to when we've mowed the grass. And obviously to do that, we're going to be jumping into our new JCB, which I'm very excited for. So I think this thing could do with it's not completely empty of fuel, but at some point very soon it's going to need a fueling up, which we'll get sorted. But yeah, so anyway, let me jump into the productions menu, because we haven't activated it. I want to leave it unactivated so we can see exactly what we got in. So we got 76,000 litres of silage there now. Activate. That's got no manure in it, and 469,712 litres in this one. Boom. Off you go. So, there's not a huge amount of slurry and manure in here either, is there? If we go into our animals very quickly, there's only 6,500 litres of slurry in there at the minute, so that's all good. But it's the silage that gives us the bulk of that income, so hopefully now our hourly income should be pretty decent for a little amount of time. Get a bit more money back into the bank. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it? But, there we go, PTO cables. I am very keen to get this beauty out into the field and see how it performs. I'm sure it's going to be fine. And obviously the introduction of this mower setup does take one job off my hands. We don't need to row anything up because this has the auto swath dropping function. Which one is it now? Is it Control and Y? Or Shift and Y? Alt and Y? It's one of the two. I'll figure it out in a minute. Shift, no. Oh, I'll figure it out before we get it running. But yeah, we're going to work in this field here. I'm going to get this one all mowed and rowed. And get it picked up with the silage trailer, the pickup wagon. And get it all tipped back into that bunker again, get it filled back up again. Hopefully we're going to get a half decent yield out of this, obviously with it being one big field instead of two little ones, plus this little strip in the middle here, which we will, once this one is mowed, we're going to perform the same task as we did in the one up there. We will run the cultivator in here and completely cultivate it under and start again, essentially, so that it's all one big field. But that's all to come. For now, let's get running our new JCB. There we go. Grass cut. What a job. And I'm very happy with this tractor. I really am. It's about time, isn't it, that I did something like this and got myself something half decent sized and half decent powered. Thanks to its four-wheel steering as well. It's got the tightest of corners, tightest of turns. It's got more than enough power to chug along with this mower. It's absolutely brilliant. It's breeze through that. And obviously with it being a fast track, it's got a top speed of 40 mile an hour on the road, so that's pretty good. But it ran this at 14 miles an hour all the way through. No problems at all. Very, very happy. So, now that that's done, I'm going to get this into the yard now. I'm going to get the picking up done with the Vulture, obviously, and the pickup wagon, but I'm going to get that done off camera because I think it's going to be a bit of a faff because I haven't, I've accidentally not saved that Courseplay course, so I'm not going to be able to do anything. Well, I probably could, but it's going to be a bit of a faff about trying to get all that done through automation. So yeah, I'm just gonna do it myself as best as I can, as quickly as I can, and then once we've got it all picked up and popped into that bunker there, let's select that one, thank you, there we go, then we will hitch the cultivator up to the Vulture, and I want to see how this thing runs with this in the field as we get the whole thing cultivated under and turned into one big field. So now I think, yeah, I need to unfold this one, don't I, to, I'm not going to be able to do that if I've just disconnected the cables, am I? Silly boy. There we go, that's better. Yeah, you can't drop this one down unless it's, completely unfolded, so we'll, just drop that there for now. Try again. There we go, that's better. But yeah, we'll, get all this grass picked up. Hopefully we're going to have some half decent numbers out of it. If I remember correctly, what we had in this bunker here before we just emptied it was around about the 192,000 litre mark. I doubt we'll get that kind of numbers from this, but obviously with it being such a big field, there's a chance, I suppose. We shall see. So I'll pick you back up in a little while's time when I've got this job done. Right, all picked up, stuffed into the bunker, and looking at the money as well, 97,186 in the last hour. It has increased by 3,714 quid, no doubt thanks to the addition of that huge quantity of silage. So the hourly earnings are ramping up nicely, and if we have a look in here now, bring up the F1 menu, 317,523 litres of chaff. So fully compacted, boom, there we go. That's a heck of a lot more than what was in there before. There was about 192,000, wasn't there? So almost double that. That'll do for me. But of course, the work doesn't stop there. Now I did slow down time to a half speed just for most of the time while I was running the pickup wagon in there, just so that I know we're in April. I know we've got a decent amount of time ahead of us daylight wise, but I just wanted to make sure. So slowed down time just for that little bit. And to be fair as well, that was like one of the very... Well, I can't actually remember the last time I did a spot of field work all on my own without any automation at all. So yeah, that was a first for a while, let's say. But I've been very keen also to see how this thing copes with the cultivator. So that's the next job we're going to be cracking on with. Get this. Now I am going to pop this job into a cinematic, but I can't because of Courseplay. As you see, we've got the strip along the middle, or slightly along the middle of the field there, that isn't a field, and of course we've got the island as well, where the pylon is. Now Courseplay obviously has the island mode where it bypasses islands and draws a circle around them and doesn't try and plough through them, but it can't differentiate between the two areas that aren't a field, the strip and the little circle where the pylon is. So I am going to have to manually create the field where the strip is and then set the Courseplay course off, recognising the little island where the pylon is. So let's just drop that one down there. First of all, oh, that copes perfectly, doesn't it? Look at that. So I'm going to try and do this as neatly as I can. So let's, I think I need to Where are we? So I need to allow create fields there. And I want to... Oh, there we go. It's got no problem at all with this, has it? Oh, hello. I missed that bit. I'll come back and get that bit. Perfect. That's what I was hoping for. This little Voltra copes just fine. So, let's bring that in there. That's right. Drop that down again there. We can just crack on like that. Wonderful. Yeah, I'll come back and get that patch in a second or two. So, I shall manually get this little strip done. And I'll pop the rest of it into a cinematic for you all. And I shall see you all in a wee while's time when this feels done and dusted too. There we go. Job done. Beautifully done, quite frankly. I'm really, really happy that I've sorted my own little cultivator problem out. I've finally got something that this thing can run through the wonder of just cherry-picking the correct mods. I've got this nice small... This is the part of the... this is from Giants, isn't it? Is it the premium one? Or, yeah, the premium DLC, isn't it? Yeah, great stuff. And I'm obviously with the more power mod as well, that just gives this tractor a little bit more pep, a little bit more poke, and just allows it to cope with it. And I think, like I said before, size-wise, I think it suits it perfectly down to the ground. No pun intended. But yeah, there we go. This one's now ready to be prepped again. Get a bit of lime and fertiliser, and obviously get it drilled, as is the one at the top there. But we still do have the big one around the back of the farm there to get cut as well. We will be, no doubt, be sorting that one out at the beginning of the next episode. But for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to call it here. I've had a good one today, quite frankly. I've really enjoyed this one. I'm very glad that I've kind of sorted out my life when it comes to the tractors. It's better, like I said earlier, it's better, in my mind anyway, just to have two perfectly capable tractors than having a handful of them that you can, you know, that are kind of half capable, if that makes sense. Very happy that I've got the JCB now down on the farm. It's a beast. It's awesome. So, like I said, yeah, for today's episode, I'm going to call it here. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really do hope you have enjoyed the video and found it a little bit of fun. As always, if you're new to my channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing a DLC, an add-on, a season pass, or even the full game itself, or even pre-ordering Farming Simulator 25, and you like the idea of helping a content creator out and supporting their channel, as always, I would be hugely appreciative. So thanks again everyone, take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.